Welcome to the 2012 Ag Fish Fry. Join us as we take a look at some of the exciting Purdue Animal Sciences Extension programs for 2011 and 2012. We'll first visit with Dr. Tamalee Nennick. Dr. Nennick is a Purdue Animal Sciences Dairy Extension Specialist. She's an expert in nutrient management and helping dairy producers best utilize their resources to minimize their impact on the environment.
Currently in the state of Indiana, there are just over 170,000 dairy cows. These dairy cows are spread across about 1,275 grade A dairy farms. In the state of Indiana, we have been growing in both cow numbers and in the amount of milk produced. One of the outreach programs that we have here at Purdue University is the Purdue Dairy Digest. The Purdue Dairy Digest is a podcast series that started in June of 2010. What the Purdue Dairy Digest is a 2-minute weekly podcast. The podcast is placed both on the internet and it is available on iTunes. The podcast is targeted toward a wide variety of audiences, either the general public or specifically for dairy producers. The podcast addresses a wide variety of topics, from general dairy information to specific management strategies that producers could use on their operation. The reason that we did this short format was to give producers a new way to receive their information. This way they can listen to it while they're on the road or doing something in their tractor, or they can just listen to it on their computer. But it does give them a different way to receive information and learn about the dairy industry.
Next up, we'll visit with Dr. Todd Applegate. Dr. Applegate is a Purdue Animal Sciences Poultry Extension Specialist who works directly with the growing poultry industry in Indiana. That includes not only chickens, but ducks, turkeys, and others as well. He is well known both in Indiana and throughout the country as an expert in poultry nutrition.
The poultry industry in Indiana is a very dynamic and diverse industry. It's home to a number of different companies. If we look at the laying hen industry, Indiana is number 3 in the country. We produce over 6 billion eggs yearly. If we look to other demographics within the state, we're number 1 in duck production. Roughly we produce around 40% of the ducks produced within the entire United States here within Indiana. So my primary job as a poultry extension specialist is to help aid those poultry industries within the state with their particular operations. If we look at the dynamics of the poultry companies within the state, really as a specialist in nutrition, looking to nutritionists that are actually employed by those companies within the state, really only one of those companies has a nutritionist that lives within the state of Indiana. So part of my job is to make sure that the supporting companies for those poultry industries within the state are fully aware of all of the issues that are ongoing with their particular operations. The other thing I do is I help liaison and implement applied research and different technology programs for their particular operations. One of the ways that we do this is we help facilitate either research that they would conduct in-house in their own facilities or research that we might do here within the university. It's on our own. Throughout the year we conduct a number of different educational trainings for the poultry industry and poultry producers. 2 of those that I'd like to highlight are really multi-state efforts conducted with several different universities throughout the Midwest. One of which is a poultry health and management school targeted towards poultry producers as well as the poultry industry, which gives really ground level information on how poultry producers can maximize the health and well-being of their particular flocks. The second of which is a conference which we conduct every year in Indianapolis targeted towards the nutritional and feeding industries, talking and addressing a number of different issues related to nutritional concerns and maximizing both productivity, reducing environmental impact of their particular operations.
Purdue Animal Sciences also involves undergraduate students in its extension programs. One program is a service learning in Romania course. Here, Purdue Animal Sciences partners with Heifer International, Banat University in Romania, and the Romanian Extension Service for a 4-week program where Purdue undergraduates work directly with Romanian livestock producers to develop and implement solutions to the challenges that they face. Next, we'll visit with Megan Costello, a senior in animal sciences and a participant in the 2011 Romania Service Learning course.
I was one of the 18 students that had the opportunity to travel to rural Romania as a service learning project last May. This was an introduction to international extension for me. We had the opportunity of visiting a heifer village in rural Romania where we partnered with Heifer Romania and an agriculture university there. We then went on to Paclișa where we performed 4 of our own extension projects. These included building a road so that the farmers would have easy access to take manure to their fields. We also re-sloped the floors in their cattle barn and fixed the farrowing crates, and also did a plumbing project so animals could have clean and fresh water. We worked on these projects with the farmers there so that these projects could become sustainable and last a long time. We educated the people and we made relationships, and we're excited to go back in the future.
The beef industry in Indiana is robust and growing. Dr. Ron Lemonager is a Purdue Animal Sciences Beef Extension Specialist. As a leader of the beef team, Dr. Lemonager conducts seminars and workshops throughout the state for beef producers on topics ranging from animal health to pasture management.
The beef industry in Indiana has changed over time, and I think we're poised for growth in the state. With that in mind, the beef team, which consists of county extension educators across the state that have an interest in beef responsibilities, and those of us on campus, have kind of created several programs that I think benefit our producers. One of them is www.thebeefcenter.com. Okay, this is where we archive a lot of our educational materials that we've created. A couple years ago, there's some information on the drought, which may come back again. And then currently we've put on 10 regional beef meetings discussing the change in mineral strategy that's important now that we're utilizing a lot of the byproducts, namely soybean hulls, distillers grains, corn gluten feed, and that's changed the mineral profiles of our rations. And so we've had that discussion. That material is being posted on thebeefcenter.com. Another interesting feature I think that keeps producers kind of up to speed as to what some of the issues are in the industry is the beefblog.com. And this basically has about 10 articles each day, 5 days a week. They're usually posted prior to 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's basically issues that producers need to be aware of in their business climate. What we have on the planning board for this next year is to create a Master Cattlemen's program. This will be somewhere between 8 and 12 sessions long, several hours in length each session. And our plan is to kind of start out with a business plan, or at least introduce the concept of a business plan, and then throughout the course of the sessions, then between sessions, the producers would have homework assignments basically to start filling out this business plan. And at the end, the producers would be beef quality assurance certified. They would have a business plan that they could take to the bank. And they may even be Indiana livestock certified.
The number of larger livestock operations in Indiana has grown over the past 5 years. Dr. Paul Ebner, a Purdue Food Safety Extension Specialist, is a coordinator of the Purdue CAFO, or Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations team. This team has brought together experts from throughout the university to research how these farms impact Hoosier communities.
For the CAFO project, we brought together animal scientists, agronomists, folks from the Department of Ag and Biological Engineering, public health experts, and we all tried to get together to decide what exactly do we know and not know about concentrated animal feeding operations. And what we were able to do is put all that information together in a very accessible form and give that to decision makers and policy makers, not only in Indiana, but throughout the country. And they can use that information to decide how these types of farms are really impacting their communities.
Less than 2% of the U.S. population is involved in production agriculture. Many of these same folks, however, have questions about where their food comes from. And Dr. Paul Ebner is also a coordinator of the Purdue Food Animal Education Network, which aims to provide consumers with basic information on how food animals are produced in the United States.
The Food Animal Education Network is a new program, and it's really geared towards a non-ag audience. So these are folks that, while they don't have a connection to food animal production, they have questions about how livestock are raised. So again, this is another program we try and give that information to them in most accessible forms. We're doing videos on YouTube, short Q&A, short articles, and we answer questions like, why are animals raised indoors? Why do you use certain antibiotics at certain times? What are the differences in housing systems? What are the benefits? What are the cons? So again, we're just trying to get that information out there so people can make their own decisions. So like us on Facebook, it's easy to find, and we can keep you updated on all the progress we make on the site.
Lastly, we'll visit with Dr. Mark Russell, who is a Purdue Animal Sciences Equine Extension Specialist. Dr. Russell is known as an expert in topics ranging from equine nutrition to reproduction. He conducts several very popular programs both in Indiana and throughout the country.
The horse industry in Indiana is about a $2 billion contribution to our state. We do a number of extension programs throughout the year, but what we really have focused on the last year is two things. One is the economic impact of the industry. So we surveyed a number of people, and we've determined that there's 160,000 about horses. The bulk of the economic contribution comes from the horse owners themselves and the inputs that they spend their money on. So that's where we need to look at our extension program and where we try to focus. I'm in charge of the adult horse industry extension program, so we focused on not only the economic part of it, but we focused on the reproductive management part. We partner with Historic Prophetstown, and we conduct 3 reproductive mare management breeding programs where we have 10 people at a time come in, adult professionals that want to either do this for a living or do this as their own mare care program themselves, and we teach them about mare management, about broodmare facilities, about broodmare endocrinology and how to get the mare in foal, how to receive the semen, how to inseminate and evaluate whether she's pregnant or not, and how to work with their veterinarian to do that. That's been a very popular program. Pasture management for the horse industry is a big problem because we have too many horses on limited acreage, and we are conducting programs at the Northern Indiana Grazing Conference on how to maximize the value of pastures for horses. We had a presentation down at the Heart of America Grazing Conference, and we're also participating in a forage day at Historic Prophetstown on how to select hay, how to better manage pastures, how to evaluate the quality of the forages so we know how to better feed the animals. So overall, the feed is the biggest expense in the horse industry, so we try to focus on how we can have the horses on pasture more days. And the more every day they're on pasture is one less day we spend feeding them hay and buying bedding and cleaning stalls and all of that. So horses are herbivores, they need to be outside. We're better off with programs that help people know how to do that.
These are just a few of the Purdue Animal Sciences Extension programs. You can learn more about all of our programs by visiting our website at www.ag.purdue.edu/ANSC. We thank you, and we hope you have a great time at the 2012 Ag Fish Fry.